Welcome back to Dynamon. Yokai Watch contains a lot of minigames, but sadly they are often overlooked, which is why I decided to do the first ever video covering all minigames of Yokai Watch. And trust me, there are way more than you would expect at first. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more Yokai Watch content, and also comment which minigame is your favorite. We start with the most iconic minigame being the Rythm games, which were introduced in Yokai Watch 2. While playing them, you use your touchscreen and your pen to rotate the circle in order to catch the incoming balls. Sometimes you also need to tap on the screen. Yokai Watch 2 introduced a total of 4 different Rythm games, all of which were secretly hidden and can only be triggered if certain conditions are given. The first one is Wedding Foxtrott, which features a group of people dressing up as foxes, slowly walking around uptown. It's arguably the hardest one to trigger, since the weather condition light rain is required, which means it's raining a bit, but you don't wear your raincoat, which makes it very rare. To replay it, you need to talk to Vicky Voxen at Mount Whitewood near Catfish Pond. Next, there's Groovalicious Hustle, which occurs during daytime in Breezy Hills. The weather app is needed to show a sun, and from 4 to 6 you can encounter a man wearing a suit in front of God Pond Museum. So I suggest to reload the area by entering downtown to reset the chances. You then follow a line of strangers and groovalicious around Breezy Hills. Speak to the person next to him at the stage to replay it. There's also Chaos March, which can occur during a clear night in downtown Springdale until midnight. If you walk around downtown, there's a chance of hearing the sound of a festival, which is easier to trigger when reloading the area by taking this route. The player will then follow a group of weak yokai around downtown and can talk to Ake in the south of downtown to replay the event. Lastly, there's septuple step, which can be triggered in Shoppers Row from 8 to 11 on a clear night, mostly when walking down Percy Street after reloading the area by quickly accessing downtown. You will see 6 mimicans who disguise themselves as doppelgangers of you, and you can replay the event when talking to Mimikin at the parking area. In case you fail one of these events, you need to replay them by triggering the respective event once again in order to access hard mode, which also earns you a trophy. Yokai Watch 3 kept using the same games but also added 4 new ones. During Illusionary Sparkopolis, you are forced to play the next Hamiyaoni concert minigame on Haley's side, which is actually the next Hamiyaoni Pandanoko song. It also appears in the Bada Bing Tower on Dreamfloor Gold, where you can play as fanboy next Hamiyaoni's Nate. It's replayable at any time in Illusionary Sparkopolis. There's also Pulse, which is unlocked during the mystery quest, in which you find out the truth about the cursed mansion in East Pine. The song is the same which plays during clown time, and the game also shows a vampire at the end in case you manage to beat it. It can be replayed by speaking to Crumbles. Don-chan, who was first introduced in Taiko no Tatsuyin, also got his own Rythm game, which can be played during the festival at Mount Whitewood, which is unlocked when a Don-chan randomly appears at Mount Whitewood at night. Then you have to play a Rythm game, including an incredible amount of Don-chans celebrating the festival. Last but not least, there's the KJ concert, which can be played in Club KJ in New Yokai City. You play it during the main story when Rongo Swell takes over the club, which makes you dance together with a lot of yokai. In my opinion, Rythm minigames deserve an A rank because they feel special and have goated soundtracks. The only flaw is the touchscreen bugging sometimes. Bike races also exist in Yokai Watch. Here you need to defeat all of your opponents in a bike race in order to get rewarded. On the track there can be power-ups like Stamina to sprint for longer, or Speed Talisman, which makes you faster for a short time. Different yokai also spawn on the track. Naked Speed speeds your character up, Boohoo slows you down, No Way blocks your path, and Happy Air blocks the path off the screen. In Yokai Watch 3, Bubble Bath was added, who makes you slide around, as well as Cheek Squeak with hearts which blurs your vision. On the North Beach course, there are also merrican replacements of said yokai. After winning the initial race, a more difficult version is unlocked, which requires you to beat a certain target time to get Stamina Alpha which is especially helpful in the Infinite Tunnel, or some random type of bread in 3. Bike races also count as the main way to unlock new color variations or bell sounds. In Yokai Watch 2 there are 5 total courses, being in Uptown Springdale, San Fantastico, Harrisville, Old Springdale, and Gara Gara Resort, being exclusive to Psychic Spectres. Yokai Watch 3 kept the Uptown Springdale course and added Sparkopolis Race, North Beach Race, and New Yokai City Race to the mix. The latter also contains the Champions Race mode, which is the only bike race that's actually challenging. Overall, bike races are very fun, have a high replayability because you can always improve your score, and at least in 2 have useful rewards, which is why they deserve an S rank. Next we have the dinner minigame, being the first real minigame you get introduced to in Yokai Watch 2, after befriending Baku at the beginning of the story, which also reappears when your grandma cooks dinner for you. Here you need to press the A, B or Y button whenever the circles close in on each plate and turn orange, and there are 30 total turns. It might be the easiest minigame to complete successfully, and the higher your score, the better the reward can be. In Yokai Watch 2, the best reward is a Love-Packed Rice Ball, a fusion item you need for Hungorge, where Yokai Watch 3's meal game can also give you the Build on Yan part Royal Garb. You can play it in your or your grandma's house between 4 to 8 PM and even on the train. In Yokai Watch 3, you may also need to press the X button when Hungrams or Crop Snitch appear to shoo them away. There's also a 40 points version you can access by filling your piggy bank for a fancier meal once a day. It's playable in Nate's or Haley's house at the same times or on the train. I personally don't really mind it because it doesn't have a high replayability, so it gets a D rank. I decided to classify Infinite Tunnel and Hazy Lane as minigames as well. They are daily events you can play and try to go as far as possible, but until 20k yards your score will always improve by approximately 1k yards. The main objective is to extend the length of Infinite Tunnel or Hazy Lane by interacting with encounters, such as the Tangler who asks you multiple choice questions. Especially Hazy Lane includes some very strange events, like the screen randomly flipping or being chased by the boss Skulk or a massive and very handsome lobster. Both warn you before entering, informing you about possible dangers, and are regarded as unsettling or eerie places by the community. The main reasons to enter Infinite Tunnel and Hazy Lane are the boss yokai, being Malice after completing Infinite Tunnel 6 times and Skulk for Hazy Lane. On the other side you will also interact with Moody Mary, a white-haired girl who created Malice from her nightmares. Especially Infinite Tunnel has a high replayability because it contains very rare yokai like Steadicking, Swelteria and Hornaplenty, who appear rarely starting from 5k yards, while you can also befriend Crankikai yokai. I love the vibes of both Infinite Tunnel and Hazy Lane and consider them to be the best minigames of Yokai Watch, which is why they also get rated as S ranks. I slightly prefer Infinite Tunnel over Hazy Lane and my high score is 70k yards, so also let me know yours. Next up, there's the Yokai Watch quality check, which is first played in the main story when Nate and Haley first meet each other in Yoppel headquarters. Here you need to check if the produced Yokai Watches are the same as the ideal one of failed productions. By pressing the A button, you can throw misproduced watches away, but once you let one slide or accidentally throw a perfect watch away, the game ends. It gets progressively faster until the peak speed at around 80 watches is reached. In the story you need to check 10, then 25 and lastly 50 watches at the final stage. But by summoning Ty Red at the buffle board, you can control the watches whenever you want. I like the concept of this game, but unfortunately there's no real twist, which makes it more difficult, which results in it becoming monotone quickly, so my rating is a C rank. We also can't leave out the Rafting Adventure minigame in Yokai Watch 3. After collecting all parts for constructing a raft, Nate and Book can experience adventures together. The The raft consists of 5 customizable parts, being body, oars, sail, decoration and optional power-ups, which can make it stronger and more resistant. The rafting map is divided into Clumbay Forest course, Crumbler's Grotto course and Hopper's Gorge course, which all contain a lot of secret areas. Some notable destinations you need to unlock through rafting are Crumbler's Grotto, Hazeltine Mansion and Pecan Port, while there are also a few secret relic areas at the end of every course, where you can befriend exclusive yokai. On the way to the destination, there are also obstacles like aggressive fish, wood or stones, which can harm your raft, which can restrict you from reaching the destination and break the raft in case it sustained too much damage. You can also attack most obstacles and control the raft by pressing L or R. Overall, rafting is a nice addition. There's much to explore, but it sometimes feels like a chore, so B rank is a fair rating. Finally, it's time to talk about hide-and-seek games. You may remember when Gargaros sent you down to Hunger Pass in Yokai Watch 1, in case you were not fulfilling enough quests. In order to escape Hunger Pass, you need to seek after Crabsnitch multiple times while she chose ridiculous spots. However, the majority of hide-and-seek games work a bit differently. Unlike most minigames, the base version of hide-and-seek was introduced in Yokai Watch 1, where you need to find 10 people in Shoppers Row near the apartment area. In the following games, a lot of variants were added, like the one in Harrisville, which is a key quest, the Master Nyada quest, where you need to catch him and later 5 kittens who got lost in Old Harrisville, or the Old Springdale Hide-and-Seek edition. There's also a version in which you need to catch Bat Smeller in the industrial area. Most of the time, you're given a time limit in which you need to catch a certain amount of yokai or humans. Some try to run away when found, so you need to be careful with your stamina. The difficulty was handled well in my opinion, since the mandatory editions are rather easy. Meanwhile, New Yokai City's hide-and-seek is a real challenge and can take you multiple tries to beat. There are also some extraordinary ones, like the Gara Gara edition, before you can find out Dane Dead Times Past, or finding all mushrooms in Illusionary Sparkopolis. For me, hide-and-seek is one of the funnier minigames and was included well, so it gets an A rank. Our next entry consists of Terror Time and Zombie Night. Terror Time I will keep short because I already made an entire video about its variations. In one, it plays like a stealth game, and you need to hide from the Oni, while trying to open item boxes with useful rewards, but you can also fight the Oni, which doesn't apply to 2. Here you can use items to avoid the Oni and patrolize, while the objective is collecting as many Oni orbs as possible, so you subsequently get a good reward from the Oni Crankekai. 3's version of Terror Time is a mix and includes both Oni orbs and the option to fight the Oni. In order to exit, you need to pick up a key, which can even spawn behind the Oni's back. Zombie Night is the BBQ equivalent to Terror Time, but works differently. At the start of Zombie Night, you can decide which challenge you want to play, each having a different rating based on their difficulty. During Zombie Night, you are playing as Nate and your main objective is to ring the bell in order to recapture a certain building from the zombies. On your way to the bell, you need to defeat zombie yokai, like Necronyan, Necrosnuttle, Necrodimmy, Necromud, Zomgrolos or Necro-All, with a special hammer given by Dog Franziska Stein. And you can utilize items too. You can trigger it intentionally by wearing the shambling shorts given by Super Manager or randomly by sleeping. Zombie Night even contains a final boss being Hollow Guard, and after beating him, an even harder version called Endless Night is activated when triggering Zombie Night again. Both events are amazing minigames with a lot of strategy involved, so A rank for both, although I prefer Terror Time since it's more iconic. Besides our well-known minigames I already mentioned, there are a lot of minor minigames I still want to include. Moxie minigame. In Psychic Spectres, there's a Moxie minigame with Nathaniel, which gets progressively faster and you need to time your move right. Can kicking minigame. If you see a can randomly in Springdale, you can kick it into a trash bin to receive a small reward. And there's also a can kicking feature in the first big gate of Whimsy. Baffle boards. You get 3 hints to guess which yokai is described, and correctly named yokai you own have a positive effect on the area. Brushing teeth. You can brush your teeth, and by doing it multiple times, there's a chance of fighting concavity. Fish and bug catching. When catching bugs, you play a small game which decides whether you catch it or not. And for fish, you need to rotate the touchscreen to use your fishing rod. Saltimate and purifying. Before activating your Saltimate, you play a little game which charges your Saltimate, and in order to purify inspirited yokai, you play a similar game. Helping old little lady. A random granny who notices you wants you to show her the way to a certain destination. She's very slow, and when arriving, she either awards you an item or turns into a yokai. Helping baby chick. Very similar to Granny, this time a baby chick wants you to show him the way to his family, since he got lost. He either awards you, or the hand turns out to be Krook-a-Doodle. Clown time. A horror clown in BBQ chases you, and in case you got caught, he will serve a punishment to the player. Gambling. Gambling includes all types of luck minigames, such as the lottery, scratch-offs, and even Crank-a-Kai and Dream Wheel. Helicopter. Allows you to get access to roof areas, but you need to collect sweets, so the helicopter functions properly because of Speward, who nobody likes. Easily the worst minigame by far, I hate it. Horse riding. You can ride a horse in Hopper's Gorge to jump over obstacles, but they can also escalate very quickly. Gates of Whimsy. Each gate of Whimsy offers a different type of challenge, while especially speed rooms and bizarre rooms can be classified as minigames. For example, you have to guess your identity. Shopping cart. In the Phantomart and one room of the Pearly Chamber of Whimsy, you use a shopping cart to do a parkour and jump over obstacles. Big gate slide. In one big gate, you slide down a slide by trying to avoid obstacles such as yokai. Red box. A strange guy with a red box tells you not to open it, but if you do, it can trigger canine time or other weird events. Road crossing minigame. A logic-based puzzle which appears in a big gate while you need to walk over all streets by switching the lights. Climbing up the mast at Springdale Elementary. If you climb up the mast at your school multiple times, it eventually allows you to befriend Sergeant Burley or Tromp. Yokai Trill Game. Appears in a Pearly Chamber of Whimsy where you need to destroy the stones while avoiding enemy yokai. And here you have it. Every minigame of Yokai Watch combined into one cinema of a video. Like the video and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more yokai content. And for those wondering where Plasters in 2 and Plasters T are, should I upload a video about them too? Since they are a whole different game mode rather than regular minigames. Anyway, my Psychic Spectres video is also one I recommend to every Yokai Watch fan, so you might want to check it out as well. Vote in the Yokai Watch Awards and see you in the next one.